Hey there folks, Recon Trooper here, back with another video in my series that I call LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga Idea Speculation. This is the second video in the series that I'm making, and I'm hoping to get a little more out there this time, because last time I spent half the video just kind of explaining that it was my first video, like period, on YouTube, and so I'll try not to take too much time up in this one. And so if people like what I say in this video, then feel free to share a like and comment, and perhaps even share some ideas that you guys might have of your own for what you'd like to see in this game. And it's called Idea Speculation for a reason, and that is because, you know, these ideas aren't confirmed by TT Games, who are making LEGO Star Wars, nor denied. These are just ideas that I personally would like to see in the game. And without any more delay, I'll just jump right in. And so one idea I had for this game that I'd like to see has to do with the clone troopers, and well, this is kind of a mixture of mini ideas for the clone troopers. And one idea I had was I'd like to see all the clone troopers that are featured in the movies, you know, episodes 2 and 3, and clone troopers that are featured the most. So basically the you know, there's the plain phase 1 plain white clone troopers from episode 2, there's the clone pilot, there's the commander, which has, you know, he looks like a regular clone trooper, but he's got yellow markings on his armor. There's the captain, which is the same thing except he's got red instead of yellow. There's the sergeant, which I think he has blue markings, and finally the lieutenant, which has green markings. And so those are all the episode 2 clone troopers that I'd like to see in the game, and actually they're kind of the only episode 2 clone troopers. Then there's the episode 3 ones, which I'd like to see, and they are obviously, again, the plain white phase 2 clone troopers from episode 3, who only briefly appear, but they still appear. And it would just make sense to have them in there. Another one, of course, is the 501st clone trooper, who, you know, they're the ones that follow Anakin at the second half of episode 3. And then there's the 212th clone troopers, which are they're the ones who appear on Utapau, if anybody knows what that planet is. There's the shock troopers, who appear with the Emperor. They have the red markings on them. There's the clone pilot, of course, from the beginning of the episode 3. You know, they're in the ARC 170 fighters. There's the airborne troopers, who also appear on Utapau, but they have different helmets. They also have kind of a cape on the lower half of them. And there's also the scout troopers, who appear on Kashyyyk. The AT-RT driver, who only briefly appears, but they're also on Kashyyyk. They just briefly appear when they're looking for, you know, Yoda. Sorry to spoil that if anybody hasn't seen episode 3 by now, which I don't know why not. And finally, there's obviously Commander Cody and Commander Gree in there. So those are the clone troopers, all the clone trooper skins, I should say, that I'd like to see in the game. And another idea I had for them is the locations in which you would unlock them. And so I think obviously half of the Episode 2 Clone Trooper skins would be unlocked probably on Kamino. Could maybe be unlocked on Kamino. And then the other half would be unlocked on Geonosis. And then there's the Episode 3 Clone Troopers who, would be kind of spread all over the place. My idea is that maybe the plain white Episode 3 Clone Trooper, or Phase 2 Clone Trooper, the 501st Clone Trooper, the Clone Pilot, and probably the Shock Trooper, all could be unlocked perhaps on Coruscant. And then there's the Clone Scout Trooper, the AT-RT Driver, and the Commander Gree, all three of whom would be unlocked on Kashyyyk. And then finally the 212th Clone Trooper, the Airborne Trooper, and Commander Cody, of course, all would be unlocked on Utapau. So that's kind of my idea as to where they would be unlocked, their unlock locations. Another thing too is kind of maybe there could be 3 separate character slots for the Clone Troopers, so they're a little more spread out. And so one slot would just be for pilots, so that'd be the Episode 2 Clone Pilot, the Episode 3 Clone Pilot, and then of course the AT-RT Driver, who's, technically a pilot. And then also there's the Commander slot, which would have obviously the Episode 2 Clone Commander, Commander Gree, and Commander Cody. And then finally there's the just the regular Clone Trooper slot, which would have all the other guys, the Phase 1 and 2 Clone Troopers plain in their plain white armor, the 501st Clone Trooper, the Clone Sergeant, Clone Lieutenant, Clone Captain, the Shock Trooper, the Airborne Trooper, the Scout Trooper, this 212th Clone Trooper. And so, yeah, I think that would be a cool thing to have in the game. That's kind of my idea for the Clone Troopers. Then another quick idea I had was if they had Darth Revan in there. If anybody's played, Knights of the Old Republic, they should know who Darth Revan is, and I think they even made a minifig of Darth Revan a few years ago. So having him in there would kind of be cool, and my idea for him, because obviously he wouldn't serve any kind of any purpose to the movie stories, but what could happen is maybe, once you unlock, say, 99.8% of all the characters, then he kind of is the last 0.2%, and then you have all the characters. So basically you unlock all the other characters, and then after you unlock the very last, or the second last character, you also unlock Darth Revan, who is the very last character. And if anybody knows about my video from yesterday, they know I made a video talking about an item wheel idea I had. And so what could happen is Darth Revan could, for his items in his item wheel, could have obviously a red lightsaber because he is a Darth, but also I've seen images scattered around the internet showing him dual wielding a purple lightsaber as well. And so maybe he could have a purple lightsaber for a second weapon, and then the third item in the item wheel of his could be just dual wielding both sabers at the same time. And also, if you've seen my other video, you'd know that I mentioned some of these characters would have items that are strictly for preference, like they have no puzzle solving purpose, just simply preference. Some people might want to use, say, Darth Revan's just his red lightsaber, or use both sabers, or just his purple one, whatever. And so, anyway, so yeah, those are just a couple more ideas I had about the game, and again, this is all speculation, so don't take any of this with a grain of salt. It's just speculation. Ultimately, of course, TT Games are the ones who have to announce things, are the ones to ultimately confirm things, announce things, whatever. And but yeah, this is just another couple ideas anyway I had for the game that I'd like to see. So yeah, so again, if you enjoyed this video, just hit the like button and give me a comment. And yeah, this is Recon Trooper signing out now, so later.